It was just being weird.
Oh, okay. And we are live, I think.
Almost there. It's setting up the meeting for YouTube.
Okay.
And we should be live just about now.
Okay.
There we go. Yes.
Hey.
We are live. Almost there. It's setting up the meeting for YouTube. Oh, I love that because there's a small delay. So it's like I'm already talking. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Michelle from Angel Insight. I can hear myself. So hold on, let me turn down my, okay, there we go. And of course we have my beautiful friend, Nicoleta.
Hello.
Shamanic Insights, but also Mark My Words, both incredible channels. A little bit of a difference between the two. Yeah, Nicoleta? A little bit.
Yes, and I feel like I'm being guided to go more in the Mark My Words direction. So Shamanic Insights followers, you might want to check the other one more.
Exactly. I know. It's been really cool. Gosh, we've known each other for a while now. I'm super excited to meet you live and in person and give you a real hug.
Soon.
That's coming up. We have our retreat. We're closing. If you are interested, if you haven't heard about it, maybe this is your first time seeing us, we say welcome, welcome, welcome. Nicoleta and I are part of 4 people who are doing what's called the Pillars of the Earth Retreat. It's on the Gulf Shore. I'm going to drop the details in this video, which I know that you're probably sharing this video to your pages as well. So, yeah, we do have room. We actually have room for, quite a few more, but we're super excited about everybody who's coming. And I just can't believe, we're going to be flying out in like 10 days. Oh my gosh. How interesting is that, Nicoleta? We're doing an oracle based on how to lose a guy in 10 days. And you and I are we're hitting the plane and flying to Houston in 10 days.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's mind-blowing. And I'm having like a very powerful vision at the same time, It's like immediately as you started to talk about it, I'm already seeing Archangel Michael coming very strongly in the middle of this live we are doing here. And he is talking about volcanoes. It's something about the middle, the center of the earth, and about volcanoes. And funny enough, I have just been in Yellowstone, and that's a super volcano.
I literally have like super deep goosebumps. And, I'm going to tell you, you've known this for a very long time. Not that I was a stalker of you, but I knew of you before we actually knew each other. And we've been following each other for a long time. I feel like we just be honest, we're drawn to each other's work. You've been guiding me for a while, and the flip, it's really nice to kind of have that, and we've developed this friendship. But I've always felt this, as I've expressed it to you several times. I've always felt this Archangel Michael energy between us, between you and Trish, actually, between the 3 of us.
Look at this. He's giving us some fractals right now. I love it.
Okay, let's go, Archangel Michael.
And I'm in blue.
So this is going to be super powerful, and it's so unique. So I remember, I want to just kind of let's set the theme, let's set the tone, and then we'll kind of get into the oracle. So I do know that I was taking notes for today. First of all, I want to see, because I can't see the chat. So can you see the chat?
Yeah.
I know we have a couple of people here with us. We say welcome. And we would love your comments. We'd love to know what's going on with you today. I'm going to pull up the live as well. Or maybe you can help monitor the comments. For some reason, I can't really see them.
I already started.
Okay, good job. Okay, so we're working in tandem. Oh, we've got about 6 people here with us. Yes. Okay, so we're super excited. Today we're going to talk about the oracle that came through. This originally came through, Nicoleta. I was going through my notes. I'm like, when did this come through? Because there's these different collaborations that are coming through between, me and you and a couple of the other girls that we were talking about. And maybe we're mentioning this because maybe everyone who's watching this has some collaborations. This is a collaboration. Just showing up and participating in this oracle is actually a collaboration. So I remember touching base with you back in early October. I went through my notes, Nicoleta. It was on October 6th. It was 25 days ago that it came through for us to do this oracle together. So I thought that was really important. And you know me with the numbers. 25 days is really about collaborating with the shifts. I don't think it's a surprise that we're leaving in 10 days. I don't think it's a surprise that the portal for the lunar eclipse just closed. Holy energies. Okay, we're still in the lunar phase, of course, the eclipse.
I can feel it so strongly.
Yes, and we're going to have so much more transformation, right? But like the actual portal of the huge energies, okay, has really shifted. So I think that's amazing. So yeah, 25 days ago, this oracle came up, and do you remember when I told you I was like, "Hey, you and I are supposed to do this." Do you remember how you felt when I sent you that message?
How I felt exactly? I don't really remember, honestly.
I know, that was like 14 years ago, right?
But yeah, but as I was mentioning earlier, like I was triggered. That was my first reaction.
Yeah.
I was triggered because of the past. Yeah, because of the past I've been through. And but you said it's going to be fun. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because just the title, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, makes your mind, let's talk about that, makes your mind go in a lot of different ways, right? So for you, where did you go right away?
Right away, my mind went in the past, in all the failures that I had in relationships. Right away, that's where it went.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh man, why is this coming back now? I thought I've been putting in a lot of work, and I did. But there is always more to integrate. There is always more to integrate. And listen to this. Oh my God, I love this oracle already. I have notes also. And some notes I took them while I was during my vacation in Yellowstone Park, right? Like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And listen what they told me back then. So some of us, we are ascended beings already. At least once we ascended at least once. How did that happen? How did we ascend? Through some experiences. We found the path and we followed our soul and we ascended in one lifetime or more, right? And so what I'm about to say here, it's for these people, for us, that we already ascended at least once. Okay, so we did ascend fully once, but we did not integrate all there is to be integrated here on planet Earth. Okay, and so now we came back. And this is also related with that which we call synergy. Here we go, or partnership. Okay. And seems like we meet all these souls because we ascend in synergy with other souls, in collaboration with other souls. And it seems like we had some unfinished businesses with some souls, right? And so we come back and we meet these souls again, and now we are more mature spiritually, right? And so we can integrate all there is. For example, how can I find a better example to integration of all there is? What comes to mind is how Jesus ascended was more through his masculine, not so much through his feminine. And so you can come back and be a woman this time. He can be a woman this time. And so he can heal more of his feminine, if that's the case, and he can ascend through his feminine or through both his energies, masculine and feminine, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it's more to this, but I believe this would take us many hours to talk about, because more information is coming through.
I think we could probably talk about that like forever, and we could get into a big discussion.
Yeah, see where I ended up here from your question.
I know, I love that. And I've been getting a lot about how it seems my angels and guides want us to really understand, and I think that this is what you're saying too, and I love this, is that we've developed this will, every time we come here, there's an evolution, there's a lesson, and we incarnate, a lot of us together in these beautiful soul groups. Many who are finding their way here. I want to say hi to a couple people. We've got Emma here. Emma, I love your name. It reminds me of my grandmother. So thank you for being here. Holly is here. We got, I think it's Maria, right? MD. I don't want to say it wrong. And we got Sergio here. So thanks for joining us, you guys. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. And I've been getting, we have to use our will. We have to spiritualize. We have to walk the path. Okay, let me refuse. We don't have to do anything. We get to do. We get to choose, right? So we get to choose to use, if we so feel called, our will, which is the house of the masculine, the solar plexus, to step into our individuality and rise into this unconditional love. And that's what I've been seeing a lot, going from the solar plexus into the heart chakra, which is very difficult, actually. It's not super easy, because a lot of this is associated with our mind, with, what we've, really learned our whole lives, about like how to be goal oriented, what makes a successful person, you know what I'm trying to say? Things like that. So some people call it programming. I mean, we have to start somewhere. We have to have some sort of structure. But I think what's interesting is we're really going into a time where a lot of people, I know myself, and I feel this for you, Nicoleta, and this is where you and I just share this beautiful kismet, is the structure kind of unfolds as we go, and it's really not important to have it clearly defined. And I can say for me, holy crap, that was a hard thing to really like embrace, because for 25 years as an entrepreneur, very goal oriented, very like, how can I do this, working backwards? And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, okay? But what I'm trying to say is, if you have a goal, if your mind has a goal, how can your heart be open for something more when your mind is already wrapped around something? Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a beautiful segue into this movie that came forward as an oracle, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, because I think we can agree, if you don't remember, Nicoleta, both Andy and Ben, the two major characters, were very much in their masculine. I mean, look at the name Andy, okay? So, which I think is cute. I love boy names for girls. But it's just like, she was all about work. He was all about work. And sometimes I think what Spirit is saying, there's more to life than just work. And this is what was very interesting to me by the end of the movie. It's like they think they're being so clever, right, with each other, and it's all about their work, and yet they end up being this really beautiful love story at the end of the movie. So I thought that was really fantastic. But there was a lot that had to happen in between. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this transition. I kept hearing transition, and Archangel Michael is very strongly here. While you're speaking, I feel Archangel Michael so strongly. And in these couples we have, I mean, the majority of the couples nowadays, yeah, I don't want to say, I mean, let me just dive a little bit into this energy before I'm saying anything.
Yeah, dive.
Yeah, okay, so 75% I hear actually of the women on planet Earth at the moment are more in their masculine, okay? 75%, that's a lot, right? And so there is an imbalance automatically. So how can we bring back the balance? Of course, through healing and letting men to be men more, right? How can we let men to be men more? They have to want to be men more, right? Also, so healing has to happen in both on both sides here, in women and in men. And in between is this transition period where in some cases maybe the man is going to stay at home with the children and the women is going to work, you see. And this is a transition, but both have to be aware and they have to work actively and day by day with themselves and together to bring back that balance between the, you know, feminine and masculine.
Yeah, I feel that so strongly. And in today's oracle, for me, I've got the archangel fire and the crystals coming forward, one for the feminine, one for the masculine. And we were talking about this before we went live. I want to talk about something. Hey, you probably didn't know this. This is my special little feature. I'm led to these little details, which I think are so clever. So let's kind of dive into this movie a little bit with some of the details we have. First of all, did you know, those of you who I love this movie, first of all, it is a feel-good movie. So if you need a little laugh, if you're dealing with, you know, the grays, it's a hilarious movie, first of all. I mean, I always laugh so much when I watch it. Okay. But did you know that originally Gwyneth Paltrow was supposed to be the role of Andy Anderson? And I don't think it would have had the same feel. So, what's that?
I don't know who is the other.
Okay, so it's Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson, which is Goldie Hawn's daughter. And Kate Hudson was 23 years old when she did this movie. And you know me and the number 23, Michael Jordan. So it's all about what I'm getting is a message about the divine feminine. Divine feminines out there, we are meant to alchemize. Okay, that's what's really coming through. We're meant to alchemize, integrate our shadows, step into our Michael Jordan, step into our individuality, the top of our game. Michael Jordan was like the best basketball player of all time. You know, I've done, I refer to that a lot. And here we've got this Taurus energy. So I just think it's beautiful because he's from the Bulls. Okay, from Chicago Bulls. And I love it because it's this red and black energy, because the big reason that we have a lot of this alchemy to do is really kind of some of those dense energies on that Egyptian timeline. It really is the energies that really kind of keep us from feeling fully rooted, keeping us, maybe the mother wound. Okay, there's like a mother wound there for a lot of the divine feminine. And so with that age of 23 coming in, really getting to the top of your game. And of course, these energies are within all of us. It's not just a man-girl thing. Huh? Yeah. It's not just a man-girl thing. Hey, Warrior of the Light 144, welcome. But it's also, it's within us, and, you know, we all have a divine feminine, we all have a divine masculine. So this is within us, but it also shows on the outside on how we collaborate with others. I love this, though. She was 23 years old, very young, and she was very worried about being with Matthew McConaughey, who was 33 years old. So he was, look at that, he was 33, she was 23. We got a little bit coming in.
And now she's 44 in real life. She's 44 years old.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, I just saw it on Google. I just Googled it.
I love it. Okay, because these numbers, we talk about them all the time. So we're definitely seeing it's time to close this cycle. Okay, those who find their way here, you're being urged by spirit to close this cycle, to allow your divine feminine to alchemize the energies, to integrate the shadows. I know I'm doing that. And I know you're doing it too, Nicoleta. It's not easy.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah, go.
How can we close this cycle is what's coming through really, really nicely here. Is the secret is forgiveness.
Yes.
This is what I hear, forgiveness. And I don't know who told me this. Somebody told me this. Or I read it somewhere. when you don't forgive someone, it's like you are just holding like a hot, how is it calling? How do you call it, Michelle? Charcoal?
Oh, like you're holding their feet to the charcoal, feet to the fire.
Yeah, like you're holding that thing and you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
By not forgiving what was. And so you just have to put that down, just leave it in the past, forgive yourself and others and let it be. And that's how you close the cycle.
Yeah. And this is, I agree. And it's really that simple, and it's very challenging. And why? Because we get stuck in that mind. And this is what I want to bring forward as before we dive in more, is we have to watch going in the mind. We're being called to go in the heart, because the mind, it only knows what it knows. That's the thing. It doesn't understand. I learned this in my career. Believe it or not, I learned this in my career. I used to sell candles 25 years. And I learned so much about me because I allowed myself to evolve. And what's amazing is when you really start to pay attention. And I think as an entrepreneur, you just naturally kind of go through these like come to Jesus moments where you have to have faith. I mean, being a business owner is really tough. But, at the same point in time, if you're not really listening to your intuition, if you're not, bringing your special sauce into the cellar, if you're trying to be somebody else, it's like doomed to fail. You have to be yourself. So forgiveness is all about, it's really deep, because sometimes, we're hurt. I mean, you and I had a great discussion yesterday, super deep. Like there are people in our lives, we all have someone that in our life that has really hurt us, like deep. And it is a challenge, but we're being called to evolve past the wound, right? And this is what we're talking about. How do we synthesize? How do we alchemize the wound, if we will? Like, and Jesus is coming up here a little bit, because I'm, me with the hand, the wound, like the nails going in. It's like, that is a physical memory that many of us carried, and a lot of us hold on to that wound, to be honest. But it's like time to stop looking at the wound. It's time to stop being injured, and it's time to, like you said, let go and see beyond. Because when you forgive, that's when the wisdom comes in. That's when you learn stuff that you never could have learned had that wound never occurred in the first place. And that's super deep. Okay. And I love that. And when you live long enough, as the old lady on the block here, when you live long enough to have those full circle moments, and sometimes they take a long time. I mean, I'm closing a 30-year cycle, y'all, and it really is based on forgiveness. And it's not based on forgiveness for the other person. Let's go deeper. It's forgiveness for myself. It's forgiveness for myself, allowing myself to feel like I let myself down. I've learned so much from this wound, and I'm sure you've learned from your wounding, but it's time. Like, how much can we make ourselves suffer? Like, when's enough time? You know what I'm saying?
I still feel there is a lot of anger collectively. There's a lot of anger still around this cycle that's about to close in 3 days, is what I hear. 3 days,
yeah,
3 nights, yeah. There is still a lot of anger from past. It's like something that reoccurred during lifetimes here. It's a deep one, deep one. And when you are saying, Michelle, you are closing a 30-year cycle, that seems like a long time, but I feel like for some of us it's lifetimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes us lifetimes to finish a north node, right? Yeah. It's not only one lifetime, it's like several lifetimes. And so we can repeat the same cycle. How do you say it? Looping? Is that the correct?
Yeah.
Doing the same things over and over again, and just we cannot let go of that anger, and that anger holds us back so much. so much. And now in my third eye, I'm seeing a geyser. Look at this. And I have a coaster here from Yellowstone. Look at this. So that's the release of the anger, yeah?
I love that. That must have been really cool to see the geyser.
Yeah. And it says vent when you need to. Vent when you need to, okay? And there is some other message here that's coming through with these geysers. Well, it was something, it went away. It's going to come back.
It feels like to me right away I was getting it's what we all do. It's where we push out. We push, like that's what I feel the geyser is in Yellowstone a little bit, is like Mother Earth is pushing out energies, because happening one is happening for all. I mean, she is the mother, you know, she is the epitome of the divine feminine. And many people have a huge relationship with God, okay? But like, what about a relationship with Mother Earth? What about, like, we could talk about this for hours too, but I just want you to bring I want to bring this to the discussion because I think it's really important. Like, she's been witness. What's coming to mind is Moana. I think Moana does a really good job of really showcasing Mother Earth and how she in herself is Ka, which is that volcano, that volatile energy, okay? And that's because in a lot of ways, she has seen, you know, speak about the memory. She has seen the memory of the wars, seen us turn against each other. And we keep kind of looping. I was listening to some information, how these, and it resonates with me, how some of these wars, like the Ukraine-Russian war, is kind of like the Cold War coming back because we didn't really integrate the energies. We didn't really learn the lesson collectively, that there's something more beyond that. So that could be a further discussion. But you know, how do we make sense of it? Let's look at a couple comments here because we got a lot. Okay, so let me bring these up. I got Sergio here. I noticed you're a Libra. Shout out to the Libras. I'm a Libra sun as well. And I love this. Sergio says, always forgive everyone and forgive yourself always. Yes. And, you know, when you do that, I think it has to be more than surface level. I think you really got to really, not just the words. Well, this is what Spirit tells me. You've got to sink into that heart and match your words with your heart center to really set the intention for that forgiveness. What do you think about that?
Oh my God. Forgiveness is such a deep topic, right? Yeah. At the beginning, I believe in the healing process, we just take what happened and we dissect it, right? We dissect it in parts so we can understand what happened better. Sometimes, even after maybe long periods of time, we don't really understand everything. We don't, and usually somebody else is involved, right, in that situation. And sometimes, if not most of the times, we cannot have access to that individual, or, you know. And so some of us get stuck in this loop of waiting for that closure, waiting for that person to apologize. And in that way, we can forgive, right, is what's coming to mind right now. So,
and there's a shadow there, right? You feel it, like waiting for somebody else for the forgiveness.
It's another form of attachment, right? It's another form of attachment. And I'm getting, for those of us that still are caught in the twin flame cycle, right? For some reason, this comes to mind also. This, with the forgiveness, with back and forth, this is the loop that keeps us stuck in there. Once we detach and we take our power back, and we can find the power to forgive ourselves, that is when we detach from the cycle with the twin flame, if you want to call it that way, right? So that's what's coming through right now.
Right.
And there is more to it. There is so much more to it. I can feel it.
Right. I've definitely learned that when you give anything hierarchy, so when you're creating like levels or you're having conversation, when this happens, that happens, these are all just forms of separation. These are all just forms of separation. And what happens, and this is a key moment, y'all, that we need to remember when we're doing our shadow work, because the only way to truly integrate is we have to face these energies. You know, we have to face them because they are running around in that well. They are swimming in that water. And whether you keep adding bricks to that well, you know, to make it further and further and further, it doesn't matter. It's still there. It will always be there until you deal with it. And I love that these energies of the full moons, if you're not aware that the energies of the full moon, starting with this lunar eclipse, this partial lunar eclipse, all the way through the end of the year, every single moon is a vibration of a 9. So there's a lot of healing here. This is just like one leg is what we're speaking about. This is one leg.
Something very interesting is coming through. I'm sorry for that up.
Don't be sorry. This is how it happens with us. Yeah.
Yeah, because while you are speaking, I'm listening and more information is coming through. It's like it's related, you know, and if I'm not saying it,
then you lose it, girl. I know we are so cut from the same cloth.
So you were saying with the moon something, and what I heard is like we have to let go of the planets, we have to let go of the moon, we have to let go of all this system because this system is holding us here.
Yeah.
It's like this system is holding us in loops. So the point here is to transcend eclipse energy, to transcend moon energy, transcend the sun, transcend Pluto, Venus.
Yes.
And when I said Venus is very I feel that's what I'm transcending at the moment. Honestly, it's very heavy and it's very I don't want to say dark because when you say dark, people can misunderstand this word. It's dense and not pretty. Okay, it is last night. I can share an experience here. Last night I took like an hour from 10 to 11 p.m. on my couch, and I was sitting in silence and in meditation in the darkness, right? And I kept seeing Jesus helping me release all that I have to release at this moment in time. And man, it was an exorcism. It was like an exorcism. I was seeing, basically, I was placed in, I don't want to say cut from channeling or cut from source, but more in my human, I was being placed more in my human vessel than my other side, right? In a sense here. And I was seeing how all these dark shadows, entities are being, Jesus was working through me, and these were like released, you know, they were coming out under different forms. And it was kind of, I don't want to say scary because it didn't really scare me, but it was unpleasant is the word. Mm-hmm. And so probably similar stuff are happening with different planets, because I feel like this in my case is related to Venus, right? Yeah, something here.
Well, yeah, because, you know, like when we fall, you know, when you fall into matter, and it's such an interesting concept that we could, again, talk for hours, because the whole light, dark, what does it mean? Shades of gray, you know, it's all about the density really allowed us to take form, you know, really allowed us to develop into this beautiful human experience. I mean, the fact that we're multidimensional and that it's really more than our mind can kind of comprehend, to be honest. But, you know, there are many who are stepping through. It's like, if you think about spiritualization, this is what's coming to mind. If you think about spirituality, and I believe that sometimes we're getting a little lost in the spiritual world about what the simplicity. And I love, and this is what I love about working with you and Trish and Jolene, is it's really simple. It's based on really a couple constants. I kind of base I didn't realize it until I realized it, but I kind of base everything in my life really kind of on a little bit of structure is like the universal laws. Like I am fully aware that things have to come into balance. And those of you who found this channel, I think we have this all in common. I feel like you've had a lot of trauma. I feel like that it's come into you this lifetime because you're meant to alchemize it. And I feel like it's multiple lifetimes. I know it is for me. And in a lot of ways, you know, you're kind of like having a remembering of these traumas, but at the same point in time, we're gonna go beyond. It's time for things to come into balance. It's time for the evolution. So, and I think that's what was really interesting in this movie is like, you know, as a woman in today's world, first of all, shout out to all the women out there. I want to do a shout out because, man, have we been through it? You know, just in like myself through my grandmothers, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, just look at how far women have come in like the last 150 years. And sometimes I also say to myself, like, I could have incarnated anywhere, and I incarnated here on Earth. You know, I could be somewhere else. I could be, you know, experiencing. There is a lot of trauma on this earth, you know, and I feel for it. But at the same point in time, I do feel like that's just where our evolution is for our soul. And some of us are being called forward to alchemize, to be, I feel, to be teachers, to pay it forward. So let's kind of jump into this a little bit more. I was talking about, there's definitely a cycle here. Okay. We're getting those numbers 23, 33. 33 always talks about alchemy. This oracle came in 25 days ago, and that in itself is a message that that structure we were talking about having enough heart-centeredness to allow yourself to be guided. I know it's been a struggle for me, Nicoleta. I think it has been a struggle for you. And it's like, once you learn how to do it, you can't undo it. Like I can't go back to the, I've learned a lot. Like I didn't realize I was kind of running around on what I call, that I learned from another energy healer, the hustler's playground. I was running around that masculine, and I'm a divine feminine. I didn't realize that. I knew that I had this natural ability. I've always had very good intuition, but I've always kind of like used myself as a vessel to kind of help find solutions for people. And this was a big shadow for me because why? Because of course I meant to use that for myself first. And that was kind of a wound that I brought in. I know that is, maybe that's that strong link to the angelics, is if you think about it, how painful it must be to leave heaven, to leave the kingdom of God and come here and you know, fall into that denseness and into emotion. But it truly is all about experience, you know, it truly is all about experience. So there's lots of things that happen in the movie. So let's go ahead. Do you want to jump into our oracle for the divine feminine?
For the masculine first.
Oh, you want to do masculine first? Okay.
Yeah, let's start with piles. So we are going to do 2 piles, right? Did you mention that?
Yes. Not yet. Go ahead. You mention it. I'm going to look at some of these comments real quick. Go ahead and mention, and then you'll start, and then I'll go ahead and jump in after you.
Okay, so we are going to do 2 piles today, and I'm going to start with pile number 1, which is for the divine masculine energy, okay, which is in all of us, not only for the men, for the divine masculine energy. And then we are going to continue with pile number 2, which is for divine feminine energies. And I'm going to start with pile number 1, and then Michelle is going to talk about the divine masculine energies also. And then Michelle is going to start with pile number 2, and I'm going to continue with that energy also. So let's begin, right?
Yeah, let's begin.
So pile number 1, I have some keywords here or some notes like really quick before we jump into the cards, right, and into channeling. And I feel so interesting. So right now seems like I am working on channeling in a different mode, which is from the root chakra. And I feel this is how I'm going to channel for the masculine from the root chakra. What is the root chakra? Is our base, right? In this human body is our foundation, right? It's the one that on top of which the whole system is being manifested, right? Built. And so for the divine feminine probably is going to be from the crown down. And so from root chakra, I'm channeling from the earth. I'm channeling from the trees. I'm channeling from you guys, from all of you. I'm connecting through all of you through the root chakra in a sense here. Okay, let's move further. The words here for pile number 1, divine masculine energy. And I don't know, divine, when I'm saying right now divine masculine, something feels strange. Let's say the pillar, I'm seeing Atlas, okay, that was carrying the world on his shoulders. It's time to put the world on the side. It's not our issue to take care of the whole world, okay? So divine masculine, it's not your job to believe you have to take care of everyone else. Of course, if you have a family, you have to be responsible. But first of all, you have to take care of yourself. You have to heal yourself. You have to put attention in yourself. And from there, you can give more to others, right? That's a first and a must. And this is the foundation and the pillar of everything. Once you give from yourself all that you are without paying attention, first of all, at what you need, of your own needs, of your own wants, that's the recipe for failure, always. It's like there is no way you can move on in life and be successful, whatever success means to you. And usually for the masculines, right, they want to provide. This is more for men, but let's say divine masculine energy. It wants to provide, it wants to be there, it wants to be a safe space for the feminine, it wants to be open, I hear, alert, grounded, wants to show up as being powerful, looking good also, is what I hear also, okay? What's coming through is taught the Atlantean. Money, finances, redirection, time to pause, rest, rejuvenation. You see, okay. So here it comes, divine masculine energy. Interesting. We have been taught through this system, and not only through this system that we know these days, but mostly through the systems they developed in all the timelines here on planet Earth. We have been looping through toxicity, through you have to push, you cannot stop, you cannot rest, you cannot rejuvenate. And so you give all from yourself, you give all your juices, if you want to call them like that, out. And so you dry up. And so what's left in there? Nothing. And from that, artificial energies are being born. Artificial energies are being born from you selling your soul to the devil, if you want to put it that way. Makes sense? Okay. And so it's time to bring those fragments back. It's time to bring ourselves back into our bodies, okay? Calling back that essence. And I'm seeing, I'm seeing by calling back that essence of the masculine back in our bodies, first is going to come with toxicity. Because it seems like this artificial energy that exists right now around our masculine energies is something we have to recognize and admit it's there. This artificial energies, in other words, is like a very deep, strong shadow. Okay, the spider, makes sense. After we recognize and admit this is here, this one somehow goes on the side energetically, and goes on the side, and I'm seeing Kali type of energies, ascended masters here working and disintegrating this type of spider artificial energies. Okay, and then what's coming next is toxicity. The next level of in healing is this toxicity. It's like a gas, right? What is this gas actually about? It's like, remember when we gave everything from us, the last drop was when we were exhausted and probably we exploded, and when we were like, what else do you want from me? You know, that type of behavior. What else do you want from me? Leave me alone. I'm tired. I don't want to do any of this. I just want to be by myself. And in this level, at this level here, what was born here was cheating, lying, entertaining with porn, and all this. So this is the next level in toxicity. Okay. And after this level is being healed, and after we move through this level, what is next is divine feminine is entering the stage and is teaching us healing, and is teaching us that it's safe to rest, to rejuvenate, to pause. So beautiful, isn't it? I love it. Okay. Next, gold. Golden flakes, they say. Something about gold and golden flakes. And the path ahead for the masculine energy leads to many paths. You see, masculine energy is a creator also, right? It is a creator also. Okay, let's see. Should I pull any cards?
You feel called to? Yeah. I mean, that's just so beautiful what you're bringing up, because you know, I've as you're speaking, I'm getting like, this is kind of where we collectively went, like this kind of like competition with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it so much within, you know, man to man, woman to
That's
woman.
so good. That's so good, because the competition is in the spider, in the artificial energy.
Yep.
Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing. It's amazing what's coming up. Okay. So golden flakes, many paths. Okay, they are showing me here. No, I'm not going to pull any card for the divine masculine. Don't feel it.
Okay. That's
okay. a minor here. So the divine masculine here is a minor in this next chapter in this channeling today. Okay. And they are showing me this mountain, and in this mountain there are so many paths being created, right? To find that gold, to find those gold flakes. But you see, now again, divine feminine comes into the equation. That's why the synergy is important between divine masculine and divine feminine, because the divine feminine, as you mentioned, Michelle, she has this intuition, right? This sixth sense, this connection with the unknown. She simply knows things, right? That's why she was burned and persecuted so many lifetimes, right? Because she was considered dangerous by those that, you know, they felt threatened by these powers, correct? And so divine masculine here needs to recognize the divine feminine for her superpower, and the divine feminine can guide the divine masculine in life towards that action he needs to take. Seems like if the divine masculine by himself, only by being in the masculine energy, he would need like thousands and thousands and long cycles to get to that destination he's looking for. But actually what he doesn't know is through the partnership with the divine feminine, he could get there in months, in a couple of years, like in a very way shorter time. And now what's coming into equation is Medusa, right? Medusa was this very, wow, okay, this is a unique information probably. I don't know if anyone have ever heard this. It's new for me anyways. Medusa was this very, very connected feminine to the divine, right? That's why she is, that's another reason why, or maybe this is the reason why, we don't know. She is depicted with all these snakes in her hair because she had this, probably she was Afro-American or maybe African or something. She had this huge hair through which she connected to the ancestors, through which she connected to the divine, right? And so people, that system over there, another system, you see, they were threatened by her. Somehow her giftings were working against the toxicity. And that's why, wow, that's why that system back then manipulated the community around her in making them believe that she was the devil, that she was a threat to them. And so happened what happened. What happened after? I don't know. They killed her. What happened after it? Because I don't know. This is what I got only.
Well, she kind of, what happened, didn't she kind of believe it? And so she turned, and so in a lot of ways, her shadow took over, that darkness overshadowed. You know what I'm trying to say? And that's how she became a tormentor instead of an enlightener.
Yeah, seems like it wasn't true from what I'm channeling here from the ancient history is what I'm channeling here actually from the earth, right?
Yeah, like that was created. And of course we know that our deep dive into Athena and was so upset with that relationship with Poseidon, and this is just how the story is an oracle, like what we know and how we can develop past that. But what I love that you're sharing, Nicoleta, it's not necessarily, yes, we can use the guidance. It's nice to have a framework, but to fill in with your own intuition, to uncover, because of course, how many times have you ever played the telephone, the game telephone? And it's like, as many times as a message is repeated, sometimes a word is added, a description is added, or persona is added. And so
can you imagine if in this game, like from the beginning, what was transmitted was wrong? That's even more twisted. You know what I'm saying? Even more distorted.
Yeah. And I feel like, and I talk about this too, and I love that you talk about it. It's manipulation is a big word. However, how can we allow ourselves to see in a way? This is what comes through on the Sacred Heart. This is what's coming through for the Divine Masculine as you're speaking, is kind of, to me, that Sacred Heart healing, that separation of being whole of who you are. And in that separation, we literally create, our shadow creates. This is kind of the rule of the three. It's like the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and then the wound has literally created its own consciousness within us. Hence the subconscious scripts, right? And the things that run in the background. And this is why we're called to go within and really close those dark portals. Much of what we don't understand happens on different timelines. I want you to think about, like, as you're talking about Medusa, think about the history of the world, like what's happened, all the dark things. I mean, we are everything. If you think that you haven't done something on another lifetime, this lifetime, that kind of holds you stoned from Medusa, that really shows that in the face. And I think that's what Medusa does, is she really shows you the reflection, of course, of your own wound. and how that can make you freeze and feel heavy and dense. And, but what we're meant is to release those energies. So this is where we're going. What I feel we're going is back to understanding the etheric. It's like it took all this energy to become this, to become form. And I love that you mentioned the artificial energies, because that's like one impulse. And that's what we're talking about here. You have a choice. So this is really coming in our current age, like artificial energies, AI energies it's a thing, y'all. It's a thing. And if you don't think it's in the Bible, I want you to go read Genesis right now. Okay. And when I talk about the Bible, it's not in excuse my French, a Bible thumper way, because everything's in balance. There is just as much in there for the light as there is in there of the dark, because it must be in balance, right? And how can it give you insights? And I'll never forget in my awakening, I've been led to the Bible. I've been led to the Bible as a tool of ascension. Okay, I just want to mention it. When you read the Bible as a tool of ascension, whoa, does that change everything? And they literally mention AI as a city in, like, literally in the very first book. Okay, so I love that you mentioned that, because that's something that's really come up in my awakening process and I definitely feel that spider energy is that artificial. Now I am going to do, can I go ahead and jump into some cards for the masculine? Were you done?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we are just in time, so.
Okay. So
I'll be back in 20 seconds, okay?
Oh yeah, you're fine. So when I settled into these energies for the divine masculine, the archangel fire came up, which means that there's something that we want to learn. Okay. We're going to talk about, we're talking about here, first of all, we're talking about structure. We're talking about the masculine energies, which is the seat of our will, the seat of our action. And we're also talking about, I love it, we both wrote down the word synergy. Okay, so when we talk about what came through here is to do 4 shuffles and 4 cards. So we are talking about this movement for the masculine. And what I've been talking a lot about on my channel and with these girls is about the movement of the divine masculine from the will, from the bee energy, from the hive mind into our individuality up into our higher heart. Okay, so this is the movement that we're talking about. Sergio, let's see. Emma says, my scalp is tingling as you're speaking. Oh, I love that. Sergio says, that is weird. That is the same thing Spirit told me this week. I want to save everyone. And my Spirit told me not everyone can go with me on my journey. Sergio, thank you for mentioning that, because it's so true. And I feel that myself. Especially as a nurse, as someone in medicine, someone who's a healer, we're just naturally, like, our soul just jumps forward. And this has a lot to do, we're going to talk about the crystals today, okay, which is a lot of my mission, because I believe the power of the all is assisting us, the crystals, the animals, the plants. They're all coming forward to help preserve our energy so that we can understand our body, so that we can really get this movement. Okay, so that's just, like, for those who are not familiar with me, that's where we're going to start. So we're talking about here the masculine in the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is Benjamin Barry, played by Matthew McConaughey. Hey, hello, Matthew McConaughey. Hey. Okay, just he is a cutie. And what came through for me is the master builder. So in a lot of ways, divine masculines, if you are we all have this energy. Okay, so we're all going to find our way on this pendulum, but some of you literally are here to create literally a spiritual structure for the divine masculine, because the whole time you were talking, Nicoleta, you were talking, I was getting really in my mind's eye and in my heart, I was feeling the energy of the horse. Okay. And the gallop and the knight in shining armor. And I just want to talk about how many emotions, everybody that is watching this, can you attach to the horse, right? There's so many vibrations there. And trust me, when we're talking about like the horses of the apocalypse. I know this is strange, but I have been there. I've been in the labors, and it is super duper, 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 duper dense. So that's leading me right away back to Alexander the Great. Look at this, how history's coming up. Alexander the Great, how he just had to keep going, how he had to identify, like, you know, people said he was the son of Osiris, how he just like thought that he had this God-given will to rule all. Okay, that is the impulse that we need to really look at. Okay, that's the impulse, because everything has a vibration, and where you are, this is where the artificial energies come in. When you've embraced those artificial energies and you're holding on to that denseness more, it pulls those energies, it makes those energies more heightened. The chase, the accomplishment part. And we see this in the movie with Benjamin Barry, how he wants to, get this account. Okay. And the account is with these diamonds, believe it or not. I love that I just saw a glitch on your side. Are you glitching, girl?
I'm a glitch in the matrix.
She's glitching. I love it. And, but those are the energies we're going to speak into. So let's look at the movement. What do the archangels want to tell us? I think it's very showing that we start with Azrael. Now, Archangel Azrael being here to start with is just such a prominent figure for me. I can only link to you what it means to me. Like, as an oracle, it's really important to understand my understanding. And it's really important for you to understand that I'm just sharing what I get, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you get. It's really important to understand your own communication. I just wanted to send that out there. Okay. So I love that I'm showing Azrael, because the message I was getting is this master builder for the divine masculine, creating this sacred structure. And Azrael's here like, yeah, come on. Do you want to come with me? Let's go back in the past. Let's relive all the torture. This is the angel of darkness. Okay. And he has a couple vibrations, and it's like, you go on this journey. Do you want to learn from the darkness, or do you want to be stuck in the darkness? And this is really what's up to you. Because if you're at one with your imagination, if you allow the expansion to your mind, then you will see beyond esoterica. You will see beyond, I know when I first awakened, I was like, what does all this mean? And it's like, and this is why I'm passionate about showing up, because it's really easy to take on other people's meanings. Okay. So that's the first part, to really go within. This is an inside job. Okay. So yeah, look at that. Archangel Chamuel, I'm telling you, she is leading the show. She is talking to you, divine masculines, to really what? She's looking to the right, and she's looking at this unicorn, this beautiful individualized energy, this beautiful gift that you have. And when we chase the will, when we have the hive mind, when we're stuck in, I've got to fix everybody else, we can't focus on what's happening for us. Okay. We can't focus on going down deeper, collaborating with this sacred structure. Okay. And this is what the angels want to teach you about. This is what this heart awakening is really about for you. This is what, and I'm not going to say heart awakening, I'm going to say the 44 challenge. Okay. Which is really an awakening between your solar plexus and your well of dreams. Okay. And I just want to give perspective. The well of dreams always speaks to me as a collaborator with your sacral, with your divine feminine. It's kind of like your waterfall within you. If you think about your blood, okay, I just want, think about your physicality. Take this into your body. Take the big and make it small. How does it relate to you? It's like, as you spiritualize yourself, as you go within, your blood circulates, right? Your blood circulates. And as your blood circulates, I believe your cells you're removing some of that toxicity that you talked about, Nicoleta. Okay. And it happens little by little by little. You're crystallizing literally yourself, so that we can move out of the 3D and move up into the higher dimensions. Okay. And it's not about hierarchy. It's about the experience that you have as you do that. Okay. Archangel Jophiel is like, just be one with the shift. Okay, don't worry about it. Live your life. Go out and run in the sun. Be in the trees. Allow the animals to speak to you. Allow everything around you to guide you, because there is so much magic around you. You don't have to create the shift. Be one with the shift. There's only one. There's a couple constants, y'all. Evolution is constant. Okay, it is a constant. And this happens day by day, moment by moment. There's an alignment at hand here. Yeah, I've been feeling this big time, okay? We're going into the month of November. There's a huge alignment at hand. And if you miss the signals, it's going to come back to you. But there is a pattern here. This is why your angels and guides brought you to this particular oracle between Nicoleta and I, is to really help capture and really look at these energies coming around. It's fast-moving energy. Holy moly. Totally fast. This resonates with me. And it's like, that's part of the wisdom, especially here when the veil is so thin. It's like we're perceiving even more. And in a lot of ways, it can be very confusing, right? So how can we bring these energies together? How can we have unconditional love for ourselves? And look at this. This is really talking together about the balance, is what I'm getting here. How can we remain in balance? Because when you're in balance, oh my gosh, that in itself is like a superpower. Okay. Because
that's the golden state.
What, honey?
That's the golden state.
Yes, the golden state, the golden ratio, which, you know, is all about pi, and the inverse of that. Again, these gods are coming forward again, Nicoleta. You know, the magic here. The magic is you don't have to keep shape shifting. You don't have to fit into the mold that you think that you're meant to fit into. You get to decide. You get to design your energy, your structure, your home, your family. You are the creator of your own life. So the vulture is here, and it's like swinging around, waiting for you to let go of this shape shifting, waiting for you, you know, look at this masculine energy. And it's like, I love this because the Lama always speaks to me, and it's like, because my husband's Greek, I'm just hearing tu, 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 which is like giving you luck, which is like showing you, you know, the things that irritate you. Look there, look at those triggers, look at that mirror, look at the reflection. This is all leading you. She doesn't want to leave, to close this cycle, to find this collaboration. Okay.
She's bringing the healing. She's the healer.
She is. I mean, thank you, Archangel Samuel. As I have Archangel Raphael here, you know. Yes, I know. So perfect. And I love this because I'm immediately being reminded between these energies about, in this movie, iconically, is that beautiful yellow dress. If you go and look online, if you've never seen this movie, you have to watch it. It's so good. It's hilarious. But there's this beautiful yellow dress, and it's designed, I wrote it down. It was meant to be mentioned. It's designed by Carlina Herrera, and she was associated with Mick Jagger, Andy Warhol, Studio 54. And Studio...
Sorry for interrupting. So yellow dress for who?
For Kate Hudson in this movie. She's wearing this iconic yellow dress at the end of the movie. Yes, it's beautiful. It's such a gorgeous yellow dress. And so we're really talking about, you know, for the feminine, to stop giving our power away, to allow ourselves to know that we're safe, you know, to understand that, yes, there it is, right there. Mm-hmm. So that beautiful yellow dress, it really sets the tone then for the crystal. And I'm going to wait for that because she's wearing this huge 80 karat crystal around her neck the Isadora diamond. Okay, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But yes, Archangel Raphael is like, be one with the magic, you know, allow this. Look at this waterfall. Allow this crystallization. Allow your waters to be crystallized. Allow those artificial energies to be released. Integrate your shadows, you know, and when you do that, you find this balance and you literally attract this movement. And this movement is what? Is energies. Energy is always moving, okay? But it can get stuck. And it gets stuck in our energetic field because of some of these past occurrences. So we're going to do 4 cards, Nicoleta. Look at this. I love this card. Look at this card. This is setting the tone. This is about your mission, you guys. I love this card. This particular angel is set in the Middle East, okay, which is really talking about, you know, you want to give yourself perspective of your life. Those of you who are watching here, you're having a hard day. I want you to go and volunteer. Go and see how really terrible life can be for many. How can we step into service? How can we see that it's not as bad as we thought? And look at this. The divine feminine, this is exactly what you're saying, Nicola. The divine feminine, she has this enlightenment. She wants to pay it over forward. Here we have this masculine peacock. This is about, you guys, this is really about your abundance. This is more than abundance. This is about your, I can't think of the word right now. I'll think of it. But, you know, a lot of people don't know, but of course I do because I'm the animal person. I'm the crystal animal person. So I know that these peacocks, they literally hold crystals in their feathers, literally. So when they fan their feathers, they're setting a vibration. And this is what's happening when you're fanning your feathers, divine masculine, when you're showboating, when you're trying to attract what you want, you have to ask yourself, what can I let go of? How can I let go of the attachment? How can I allow myself to be used as a vehicle for my abundance rather than defining what that means right away? And that's kind of what we're talking about. Being so goal-oriented, not really understanding that it's the journey, that it's the beautiful in between. And that's what's so gorgeous about this movie, is they're like trying to bamboozle each other, but there's really this beautiful coming together. And that's how spirit works. So this is an energy about bringing you on your mission. Okay, so 4 cards. There he is. There he is, Nicoleta, Archangel Michael. He's here in the 23. And here in this oracle, the 23 is Kate Hudson, the feminine in the yellow dress, learning how to stop giving her power away, to really step into her divine feminine, to receive from source, and then to pay that information, to take inspired thought and pay it forward to the seat of action, understanding what inspired action truly is about. It's about something that's received, okay? Something that resonates, something that hits, okay? And then taking action. It's not about shape-shifting and doing everything just to get through, because a lot of those things don't even show up. So I feel this energy, though. I feel that there are cords being cut for you. I feel, you know, Saturn. You know what else is happening in 10 days, Nicoleta? Is it in 10 days? No, it's sooner. In 5 days. So halfway in our journey of this 10 days, there's the first shift. There we go. The first shift is Saturn is going out of retrograde. Saturn is still in retrograde till the 4th. And I love this because this is reminding me of the conversation we had with Trish about vendetta, about these energies with this shift. There's this deep healing happening, especially for the Venetians, for that Venus energy. I do feel it very strongly with this Saturn retrograde. Okay. So where is Saturn in your house? What, you know, how can that help you understand the energies? Archangel Michael is cutting cords. There are so many more energies happening than you realize. So how can you How can you, with your divine masculine, how can you wait? How can you take a knee until you receive, right? How can you take action that's divinely inspired? How can you balance with the shift? Okay, the twins. How can you be blind to the twin journey? How can you let go of all these other teachings and just go within? This is fast moving energy to help bring you into balance. And look at this, is literally talking about the golden ratio, Nicoleta, like literally. Okay. How can we let the forgiveness be the center point? How can we allow judgment for ourselves? Okay. How can we hit the hammer and let go of what was, allowing ourselves to step in unity, putting our sword down. Okay. We don't need the sword. Archangel Michael's got it. We don't need to.
I love that so much.
He's got the sword. He got the sword. And he's just like Matthew McConaughey with like long hair. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at that card and I was like, man, there is something very charismatic about this card.
I know, right? He is just like, this is like a really interesting depiction of Archangel Michael. And, you know, and it's really showing us this number 23. What is this shift all about? It's all about collaborating with the balance. It's about understanding and opening ourselves up to receive from the universe, because this is why a lot of us run in that masculine, is we don't feel we're worthy. We don't feel the universe has our back. Okay. And this is the divine structure that we're meant to see here. Okay. I love how these cards are coming in. The Alpha and the Omega are coming together. The Divine Father, that is who you're collaborating with, okay? That is who the Divine Feminine receives and then passes off to the masculine within, okay? Then look at this, that number 8. So here we have, I love this because we have Archangel Michael with a 5, talking about the shift. We've got the twins talking about, you know, not judging ourselves, not separating ourselves, really keeping ourselves together, really balancing with the shift, right? Mm-hmm. This fast moving energy, this number 8. And then let's just have Archangel Haniel come forward and talk about this number 8, about peace, about, yes, we're blinded. We're blinded. Okay. We're blinded, but you know what? You don't need to see. You don't need to see to have movement. Okay. This is literally about trust. This is about, like I'm hearing, do you trust me? Okay. That's what I'm getting here. This is about allowing yourself to expand beyond. I'm also getting the sneeches, the stars on thars, this competition, how we see ourselves in this materialism, you know, that's not going to take you anywhere, my friends. Okay, yes, it is important to have physicality. It is important to have money. I get that. But how can we receive inspired? How can we have inspired actions to create that energy exchange? Okay, because, and I'm seeing with this, that if you understand this oracle and if you can find this divine masculines, you have the ability to lead others. Okay, this is like a dynasty. This is, I'm feeling the root chakra here. This is trailblazing. I'm feeling, you know, and I love that I see the cherry blossoms, about the renewal, about letting go. Okay, about letting go of definition, defining everything. Look at this dragon energy. Divine masculines really allowing your dragon, your feminine energy to lead you. And some of you, I'm just going to tell you, these artificial energies have blocked you from the truth of who you are, from the truth of your spark. And so this is why we have, you know, for some of us, I know me, I've been running in my divine masculine. And for some of you, true divine masculines, you may have been receiving, you may be in this inauthentic feminine. And so your journey is about unraveling your truth, your spark. Yeah. Okay. To get that movement. See that bridge in the background? To cross over. I'm hearing to trailblaze. Wow. Beautiful. And then I love this card. It always makes me smile. We've got Archangel Solith. I'm going to say it wrong. Solithiel. And this is about really collaborating with the clarity that's coming in and aligning to what's next. Realizing that they're just steps. Archangel Haniel here is like, we see this bridge in the background. We see it foreshadowed. We see it. We see a destination. And that is so amazing. Because when you have inspired thought of a destination, now it starts to unravel the way to get there. Okay. And if you work within, you'll actually find very fast moving energy that will lead you there in half the time. Okay. In half the time. This is blessed. Follow your angels and guides. This is blessed for you. Now, before we go back to you, girl, I just like to read these little messages because they really make a difference for a lot of people. And it's just a real quick little message. I'm feeling so passionate. Oh my God, I feel this passion. I feel like
I feel it too.
I feel like awakened to something. And I love that. Okay, so Archangel Michael has a message here. He's the first one to come forward. Release your fears. You are safe and protected. If you are in a time when you need a little more courage, know that I am with you, shielding you from any perceived danger. Now, as I'm talking about this, I'm getting a note to talk about Isadora real quick. I'm going to come back to it when we do the Divine Feminine, but Isadora Duncan is who the Isadora diamond. There's this, in this movie, there is an 80 karat diamond. Okay. Spirit is bringing this abundance right to you, my friends. Okay. 80 karat yellow diamond. I feel many of you who find this are tuners. You're meant to tune help attune the collective energies. Okay. And so the angels want to teach you about your energy first. And so Isadora, yes, look at that diamond. Okay. Now this is named for Isadora. Do you know who Isadora Duncan is by chance, Nicoleta?
No, but I Googled Isadora diamond and that's what showed up. So
yes. So I Googled because I love the stories behind. Isadora Duncan is actually referred to as the mother of dance. And do you want to hear something very synchronistic?
Always.
You know how we love this. I've got goosebumps as I'm about to tell you. Isadora Duncan. Okay, number one. First of all, she is referred to throughout history in many movies. She herself is inspired because she has been called the mother of dance. She would do movement. She's the first one that did movement that was natural, flowing from, guess where? The solar plexus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's literally, she was an evolutionary dance motion to allow things to be natural. That's what made her famous, her individuality, how she was the mother of dance, is she really allowed her creative spirit to flow through. You want to hear something crazy though about how she died?
Huh.
So she lived like kind of in the 20s or the 30s, and she was famous for her scarves. She would wear this scarf around her throat, okay, around her neck, and literally she was picked up to go on a date. And I know this is tragic, but the scarf was caught in the wheel of the car, and she was killed like that. She suffocated because it got stuck around her neck. Okay. And as we transition into the feminine energy here in just a moment, how do we cut ourselves off? How do we keep ourselves blocked from not being in our authentic nature? Okay. That's really what's coming up here with that Isadora. How can we, allow spirit to guide us to our abundance? How can we be guided instead of like, I have to do this, and this? Okay. Because trust me, Nicoleta, do you want to be guided to your abundance?
Always.
Yeah, me too. Okay. It's for us. It is for us. Okay. So I love that. Now, the twin within, thank you, Archangel Michael. He's been with us this whole time. I love that he popped up. And I love these little messages because they really bring it all together. Okay, number 35. So that energy, the twins, ask us to bring you clarity when the truth evades you. We can help you discern the right choice when making an important decision, or when you are unsure of the highest course of action to take. With our help, anything remaining hidden will soon come swiftly out into the light. And then I have a note here. It's all about vibration and frequency. Oh, here I wrote, it's not about necessarily vibration as much as it is about frequency, which brings those different things to you. Now, in the oracle, I'm being reminded that there was something shared about hidden. Yes, I'll share it in just a moment, but there's a much I'm going to share about the fern. There's this one in the movie, there's this fern, you know, she gives him a fern. This is our fern. And it talks about a relationship between us. Okay. And she's like, you let our fern die. Okay. And there's this fern is part of their story. Well, fern is an attunement in the Cambaran that I've been working with. It actually pairs with blue apatite. And right here it says that fern is a flower that only blooms one time a year, my friends. In itself, that is a manifestation to witness the bloom of a fern, because it only actually flowers once a year. We see the green plant, but it has a flower as well.
It does?
Yes, I know, right? So it flowers here. So in itself, the fern is leading us to this hidden treasure, okay? Leading us to what's in that Pandora's box, that sprite, that hope that's leading us to our beautiful wisdom, okay? Here in number 8, Archangel Haniel talks about the spark of vitality within you is being restored, giving you the courage to express yourself with real grace. Whatever you do it from the heart and do it with great passion. Yeah. Do it with great passion.
Great passion, Michelle.
I love it. And then the very last one, and we'll go back to what's coming up for you, my dear. Message from this guy who's blessing your path. There's an alignment in front of you. This is being blessed by spirit. How can you collaborate to the clarity coming in? Your whole existence is sacred, my friends. Let your heart lead you. Devotion comes in many shapes and forms. Even walking barefoot on the grass is a form of prayer. How can you sink into prayer? How can you release the attachments? How can you let it go? Let it go, let it go. Throw those gloves on the floor and step into your brilliance, unafraid. This is the message coming forward to the divine masculines. You have so much to offer. It's more than just a home for your family. It's more than just providing. It's all about connecting on such a deeper state. It's connecting deeper, letting go of the attachments, because so many men in our current age, I can speak of observing, being married for almost 30 years, observing my guy. It's tough out there. I mean, women, we have our challenges, but men have theirs as well. All right, so there you go. This is what's coming through here. What do you want to say about that, Nicoleta?
I was thinking, so this is how I was seeing my own experience with my masculine energy.
Yeah.
Based on what you just mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't attach yourself to your artificial side, in a sense. So how did that happen to me? I was so afraid to do lives, right? I was so afraid to show up, to talk to people. I still am a little bit, not going to lie. So that was my artificial Medusa spider type of energy. Once I put that on the side, and I was like, man, these people are not going to kill me. Like, maybe it happened, whatever. And I showed up. And then I went to the next challenge, which is, remember when I channeled the toxicity?
Yes.
And when you say, oh my God, I'm so tired of this, I don't want to do this anymore, I put so much effort in, blah, blah, blah. And that came to me in my day-by-day life. I was so exhausted. And I remember I told you so many times, I feel like I don't want to do anything. I want to recharge. And I took days, and I went on a vacation. I took days to recharge. And so now I'm curious what's next, because we are just like to pause, recharge, and retreat. We recover ourselves. And so right now, today, Michelle, me and you, we are recovering this fractal. Maybe some of the people that are watching us also from Archangel, yes, he says yes, from Archangel Michael. It's a fractal from him, which is following the color blue. You see, color blue. And now probably we are moving to the next color. So what color are you feeling attracted to right now? Or what color will you be attracted to in the next 5 days, 10 days, when that things with Saturn that you mentioned is going to happen? Actually, that's the end of the cycle. That's the end of the Archangel Michael cycle, in a sense. We took the fractal. We're moving to the next step, which is related to our journey of taking back our power. Everything is related and connected. It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it so much.
It is so beautiful. And you know what color I'm thinking of is the color purple. And I love it because it's that fire and ice energy. It's that bringing yourself into balance. It's not the extreme of just the blue of the throat chakra, of your authenticity, and the extreme of the root chakra, which is, you know, our current, where we are in this moment, but bringing them together, creating that clarity, creating that vision, allowing yourself to have focus. But it's something that spirit is leading us. That's where I think a lot of people get lost in translation. So like, as you and I are in this in between, as you're in this recovery, it's like, I love that. Oh, are you drinking your pumpkin?
No, it's Americano with a splash of cream.
Okay. So when we receive, when we get the clarity, that's really, oh, I got goosebumps here. That's how we'll know the next step. It's a game. It's a game between us and source.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. That's what this is. And you know, I was watching this video from a guy the other day. I mean, I think it's been 2 weeks now. Anyways, so I was watching this video, and this guy is a shadow worker. He's professional, like really. I like him a lot. His name is Julian something. He's very known. Julian, anyways. And he was saying, imagine this life as a video game, and you are the character, and then behind is your higher self or your higher selves. And those versions of yourselves are like basically manipulating your character in this video game. So what's the next move? So we have this obstacle right now. We have to go fight this big monster. But after we fight with this monster, we are going to get this reward, because always a healing, a breakthrough always comes with a reward. Always.
Yeah. And every challenge is a gift. You betcha. Every challenge. And while you're talking about that, it's so funny, because I used to be such a gamer. I don't game. I mean, I know you probably wouldn't have guessed that, but yes,
I wouldn't.
I'm a gamer. Okay. And as you were talking about that, there's all these books that come out with the secret little, you know, the secret sauce, the little that help you with the secret passages. And this is what I feel like we're doing a little bit. I feel like we're getting like little secret passages. So this oracle, in a lot of ways, in the game that we're playing, is kind of like those gaming manuals that let you know about the little hidden things, which I think is really funny, because in a lot of games, the creators put these little gems, their own creativity, their own splash, their own uniqueness in there. You know, oh my gosh, I used to be so, what's coming up is Spyro. Have you ever played the game Spyro?
No, I played only Mario, and that's
okay. Well, Mario was a good one, because Mario, of course, we're trying to rescue the queen, the princess, right? And it's like, we go through these different challenges. I mean, it's very much the same thing, but there's all these secret hacks. And in fact, in Mario, I think you're going to love this. There's these secret hacks with the mushrooms. There are secret mushrooms. Oh, okay. These secret little mushrooms that give you what we call, I mean, in the game, they give you a 1-up. Okay. So, yes. And this is the power of collaboration. So yes, we're all on our own journey, but we activate each other. Oh
my God. So good. You said it gives you a 1-up, and sometimes in life you think you are behind, but you just move through such an obstacle that can give you this fast forward energy at some point after you're out of it. And so you can just find yourself at some point in life way ahead, if you want to put it like that, but it's not a competition, right? Way ahead of your surroundings, And
in that 1-up, sometimes you get open to the game behind the game. You find the secret passage to something that gives you more lives, that gives you the cloak of, I'm hearing the cloak of invisibility. What's up with that?
There you go. That's when you open to the unknown. That's when you get in contact with the feminine. So let's move to the feminine.
Let's transition to the feminine, but before we do, remember how we were talking about Isadora Duncan? That dancer? Okay. She's been used a lot as inspiration, and you're going to love this. Do you recognize the names Isadora Quagmire, Duncan Quagmire? Do you recognize those names at all? They're from the Harry Potter series. So she was used as a character. Isadora Duncan is her name, and she was representing 2 different energies, a feminine and a masculine. Look at this within. She was also used, she influenced many. I mean, oh my gosh, you should see the amount of works that she influenced. That is what legacy is all about. Stepping into her uniqueness, really allowing herself. I mean, she was a trailblazer. And those that find your way here, you are too. You're so close to it, you don't see it. And some of us are so attached to what was, we can't. It's like Dorothy. It's like we're so attached to the black and white. It's hard to step on the yellow brick road and start to live in color. Okay, to really bring those rays together. So I love that because there's a lot of mysticism here. She was also used in Fever 103, which is a pretty famous poem by Sylvia Plath, who is just like.
Sorry for interrupting again. Can you I don't know, do you have anything else to say about that, moving from black and white to living in color? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, oh girl, that in itself is a whole nother discussion. I feel we should unwrap that sometime. I think it would be fun. There is a whole world that I'm going to tell you that I've been influenced by getting familiar with the work of The Wizard of Oz. That movie Wizard of Oz is really inspired actually by occult magic, believe it or not, by esoterica, and has so much symbolism. But we only see one part. We only see the Wizard of Oz. But in itself, it's a whole enchilada. There are many stories related to this. And
I think I understand.
Huh?
I think I understand what you're saying. It's like layer within layer within layer. And you don't see only the one layer, you see the big picture, or you don't see only the big picture, you see the layers within the big picture.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So it's like, some of us are like, okay, I'm dealing with Dorothy. That's where I'm at. I'm discovering the power within me, the power of the ruby slippers. Okay, which comes from where? It comes from really kind of stepping into the unknown. I'm hearing the unknown. Wow. Okay. So all these movies talk to me. You know how this works. And then, but you could do a whole character look at and get inspired by Oz, the puppet master. Ooh, that's taking me to that Pinocchio. Okay. That's taking me to Pinocchio. Oh, Lord. We could just get lost in the movies, but they're all creation. They're all left here. Everything created It has the ability to spark, to create movement if you allow it. If you allow it. What does it say for you? You know, I'm being inspired to watch Coco next, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I think I watched that one. I don't remember. It's like I just watched them and then I just forget everything. If it doesn't have like a profound impact over me, I forget everything.
You know, and it never used to, but since I've awakened, I don't know what it is. I see Oracle in everything. And of course, Oracle just means truth. I love
it. Because you're so aware now and so alert, you know, and you recognize that the universe is speaking to you and it spoke to you always since the beginning of times of your birth, since you were born this lifetime. Every single thing you see around you is telling you a story, but you are just not ready to read that story, to read that book yet. And so when you match that frequency, that comes into your reality and it tells you the story and you're like, ah, and you get a confirmation. And here you go.
And then, of course, as we build on that, how do we share that story? What is our part in that telephone game? What is our perception? And how does that activate others? Not as their truth, as a spark to go within and discover your own. Ooh, that's juicy. Okay, I'm gonna have to come back for later for that as a quote. That's so juicy. Okay, so let's get into these feminine energies, because with that Isadora diamond, you know what else came through for me today as I was preparing, and this hadn't come through before, was Isadora, the mother in Bewitched, the series Bewitched, which is about the, you know, I love her with that little nose, little tinkle, about, you know, really embracing your magic, and how she was kind of the meddling mother. And in a lot of ways, this is kind of talking about this alchemy as we go into this, you know, as we go into the feminine, there's a different message here, right? And we're going to pass it over to you, but how can we allow ourselves to not feel meddled? Like, it's so funny. How can we be friends with the mother? You know, because when we're adolescents, you know, it's interesting, the growth that we have. If you think about just the relationship of the mother, us and Mother Earth is what I'm speaking of. And for many of us, this is very complex. For some of us, it is super complex, and it really has a lot to do with your divinity. I know it does for me, as I feel the Earth Guardian. I feel very connected to Mother Earth, as I know you do too. So let's go ahead and look at this feminine. Okay, let's go back to you. What's going on there for you?
Want me to start? Okay.
Yeah.
So for feminine, it's funny. Today is Halloween, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today is Halloween, and as I was getting into the energy of the feminine for all of us, I feel the witch. I feel the witch. I feel the spooky things. I feel the ghosts and ghosting. Interesting. Why are men ghosting? Why are women ghosting men, and probably vice versa? Why are we seeing other people as adventures, but not in the right sense? Is this the wounded feminine in us?
Probably.
And it takes me to a placement, Venus in Gemini. It's all about making choices. It's all about making choices in love, in life. But also when you make a choice in love, let's say you choose a partner. After that, you have to continue making that choice during your commitment to that partner. You have to continue choosing yourself and them, and you have to continue choosing the commitment over and over again, because it's somehow Gemini as a sign, right? We have to transcend that also. But Gemini as a sign is very intelligent, but it's mind-based. You see, it's mind-based, so it's a little bit hard with the emotions for them, probably, to understand their emotions. And so I believe this is a challenge for people that have Venus in Gemini.
Can I interrupt you real quick and
yes, sure, go ahead.
Fun fact? I want to let you know that we have a full moon in Gemini coming next month, and I know we're transitioning. We're getting the healings. We're bypassing the moon energy. That's also a vibration of a 9. So I just wanted to
nice. Okay, so we are closing a cycle over there. We are releasing something, probably in between our masculine and our feminine, right? But mostly related to our feminine.
Yes.
And it takes me back to the witches and love spells. Okay, the witches and love spells. Should I pull a card? Yes, let's pull some cards if we are talking about witches. And I'm going to use the Dark Light Oracle. I just received this oracle for one of my subscribers and clients. And more than that, I consider her more than that. Beautiful deck. So let's see.
Can I see a picture of this deck?
You want to see the deck or?
Oh, yeah, okay, this one. You've seen it before. Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Looks very spooky in a sense, huh?
Oh yeah.
Look at this.
It's like very like a Little Miss Riding Hood. Red Riding Hood is what's coming through a little bit. Ooh,
okay. What is coming through also is the spiral of healing. So we are in a cycle of healing the feminine, which a 3-year cycle, which is going to end with this full moon in Gemini, probably.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of how do you call it? Any connection between Venus and this full moon very soon, or?
Well, it's kind of interesting. I'll take a look-see. I can take a look-see where she's at. But Venus is definitely the star this year. And I will tell you that I've had this all year long. I'm just going to show you my little note. Venus transitioning into Pisces. So Venus is was in Leo. That's when the retrograde came out of Leo. Let me take a look, see while you're talking about where Venus is at right now.
So I really feel, as you mentioned it's going into Pisces. So I feel
here, yeah,
there is a pull into the waters. Okay, a pull into the waters. What is this supposed to mean? In romantic relationships. So we are being pulled into the world of emotions, especially for those of us that we are functioning more in through our intellect, through our mental body. We are being pulled in our emotional body. And I'm seeing there is this blockage between mental and emotional. And as you mentioned, Michelle, earlier, we are stuck sometimes because there are these blockages between bodies. And in this case, there is this blockage between our mental and our emotional body. And so Venus transitioning in Pisces, we're being pulled into the emotional from the mental, and we're going to be pulled through this blockage. Now, I don't know how it's going to feel, guys. Let's see what the Divine Feminine has to say here. Okay, so I have 2 cards for us. Earth, you gain what you work for. Wow. So this is the card over here. And you gained what you worked for.
Amen.
Then I have, wow, yeah, okay, makes sense. Masks. Number 19, which comes down to a 10, new beginning, yeah. I don't really like this energy, I'm going to be honest. Behind the folding screen. But you see, when I say I don't really like this energy, and I'm going to show you one more card before I'm going to continue. When I say I don't really like this energy, I don't want to say I make a mistake when I'm saying this, because we have this tendency to like only what's enjoyable and to dislike and to push away what's not enjoyable. And we have to get to that point in time where we are being neutral to all this. Okay, it's a less pleasant situation. It is just an experience. It's another experience. We have to neutralize everything. It's another experience. It is another experience. It is another experience. Of course, there is a path to becoming this neutralizer. And I feel it's what you mentioned, Michelle, with the 33 challenges, 33, the alchemist, right? So you have to go through all that in order to become this master alchemist, to neutralize whatever comes towards you. And the violet flame is involved here also. Nonetheless, this other card I want to show you is Dark Path, number 10 again. So we have 10, 10, okay? Learning from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes. Here you go. I hear that you guys, we are ready. We are ready to learning from other people's mistakes, also not only from ours, okay? So we can now listen to advices and we can take what works for us, okay? Maybe so far we have been rebels. We didn't really want to listen to left and to right, to advices, to what other people have to say. But right now we have this discernment, okay? Divine Feminine has this discernment where I've been through these challenges. I alchemized a lot. I now can neutralize. I now have a different perspective over my relationship and relationships. Relationship, romantically speaking, and relationships, friendships, family, and otherwise, okay, acquaintances. You now can form a structure. You now can see who can come closer to you or who you want to keep a little bit further because maybe they are not a match for you any longer, and you now have the discernment to realize that you can love some people from a distance. You don't have necessarily to have them too close to you, because if they are too close to you, they can be toxic to you at that moment in time. It doesn't mean that later on in life you are not going to have the opportunity to get closer with that person, but not at the moment, okay? This is what I'm seeing here for now. What else? So we are diving more into the feminine, diving more in the emotional body, more into heart chakra. So right now I feel like I'm channeling from the heart chakra, if that's a thing for us, for the feminine, okay? I'm seeing all this infection coming out, guys. All this infection is coming out because first the masculine was, I don't want to say healed, let's say did some progress in his healing journey. Now the feminine can relax and heal more herself, okay? And so this infection, this, yeah, is coming out from our heart chakra. Another mask is falling off, okay? As I was mentioning, another mask is falling off. We're recovering one more fractal. What we are recovering through healing the divine feminine is Archangel Raphael fractal. Look at that. So now let's see, what is the difference between, oh, I feel pain in my heart right now. What is the difference between a soul fragment and an angelic fragment? Michelle, I know you mentioned this sometime maybe in one of your oracles. I don't really remember, but let's see what's coming through. I'm hearing it can be one and the same. It really depends your past, your history. Where are you coming from? Right? Where have you been originating from? Like you have been, of course, originating from the source and then sent somewhere. Where did you go? Did you go on Pleiades? Did you go on the angelic realm? Did you go in another universe? Did you go, did you come on Earth? I don't know, you know? So there is this feeling that it can be one and the same or not. And if it's not, what is that be? What can that be? An upgrade, okay? An upgrade, and that's usually happening in the ascension process. So it can be like a soul fragment that you recover once you ascended already in that matter, or it can be an upgrade when you ascend first time in your masculine energy, probably. Okay, this is what I feel here.
I love that. Actually,
it's like a spiral. You go down, you heal your roots. At the same time, you ascend, right? That's how it works.
You gotta go down to go up, baby.
What else is coming through is this video game we just talked about, Mario, right? He was saving the princess, as you mentioned, Michelle. And in my case, I can tell you from my personal experience, again, I was seeing lately this Thai princess from Thailand as being a facet of my higher self. And so I was Mario, the character here on Earth, and she was like basically manipulating me in a sense to save her. So how can I save her? To heal more so she can come down and I can embody her and I can ascend through what? Through my feminine, right? So this is what I feel here collectively. This healing is coming through, right? We commit to ourselves once again. We commit to our relationships once again. And when I'm saying we commit to our relationships once again, guys, we have to make sure we have to make sure we have the discernment between what's worth it and what's not, right? But if you guys have been to the 33 challenges, which is the Master Alchemist, you already know that. If you find yourself in an abusing relationship, right, of any sorts, that means that you are at the beginning of the 33. That's how I see it. Can it be a different way? Probably, but this is how I see it. Stay in this moment in time, here and now, right? Okay. And so we have to recommit to these connections we have to recommit to our friendships, we have to recommit to ourselves. And in this way, we are inviting more of ourselves back home. In this case, that fractal from Archangel Raphael, we become ourselves more healed, we become more of a healer. And once we get that back, we are moving to the next color in line, which is whatever it is for every each one of us, okay? What else for the feminine? Shadow. Let's take a shadow card. What time is it, Michelle? Am I still in time, or I still have a couple?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's 2:20. It's 2:23. 2:23. Collaborate with the 23.
Wow, that's so magical.
The numbers just speak to us. I know that people watching don't get it as much as we do, but we just laugh. I love it. It's just like the synergy that we have.
Yeah, we are two. I'm getting number 2, pile number 2, 22. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The expansion, the shedding snake. Look at this. Okay, I have 2 cards. Wow. Okay, I see. Spirit wants me to expand over a subject here. So we have the shedding snake, the expansion. Okay.
That in between. Do you feel like that in between right now?
I feel like I wanted to mention, do you feel like you can expand in your relationships right now? This is a sign you are in the right or wrong connection. Can you expand in your connection? Can you grow in your connection? Or your growth is being hindered. Also, bringing back the supervolcano, the Yellowstone supervolcano in this case, right? Your body always talks to you. It tells you, do you have around you the people that encourage you to be better and bigger, right? Encourage you to heal yourself. Your body always tells you, your body always has a message. You feel you have headaches. You get a lot of anxiety, depression, pains in the body, I don't know, arthritis, what do I know, you know? That's a sign that you have around you what? Masks, the hidden wolf. You see the hidden wolf, the wolf that's, what's the expression, Michelle? Come on, you know what I'm saying here.
It's like the wolf I'm feeling is just like chasing. It's like something's chasing you.
Yeah, but look at this card. It's like the wolf in sheep. What's that expression in?
Oh, yeah. What is that expression between the wolf and the sheep?
The wolf in sheep clothes?
Oh, the wolf in sheep clothing. Yeah.
In sheep clothing.
Beware of the wolf in sheep clothing. Correct.
Exactly. Beware of the wolf in sheep. Exactly. And it takes me to narcissistic relationships. Okay, narcissistic relationships where, and again, to that twin flame dynamic, guys, I don't want to get into that topic, okay, because it can be very triggering and sensitive for many, because many of us, we are not ready to hear that yet, right? And we are still caught in the cycle for a reason or another, okay? It's an experience, and that's what it is. But toxic connection, abusing connections are usually with individuals that use you as a supply. They are using you as a supply for what? Sexually, emotionally, materially, right? Practically. You take me in your home. Then I'm mirroring back what you are, but actually I don't feel anything. But I'm just going to be this wolf in sheep clothing, and I'm going to put that mask so you think that I'm something that I'm not, you know?
Yeah.
So we are shedding this side of us, some of us that are a match to narcissistic connections. In friendships, I'm getting friendships also, you know, in friendships, and I keep hearing manipulation. In friendship and romantic, of course, romantic big time here. Okay, how should we end this divine feminine healing with Christ? Oh my God, did I show you this deck, Michelle? I'm going to end with Christ consciousness self-mastery deck.
Look it.
Such a gorgeous. Okay. I'm going to pull a card, and I'm going to end the divine feminine with one card from this deck. And so that's why the dark witch in feminine, in divine feminine, the dark witch and love spells coming from the wolf in dark clothings, the wolves in dark clothings, which were other individuals, men in particular, right, that abused us, right? That I'm not saying that there are not feminine that abuse men, not at all. There are definitely a lot of feminine that abuse men, okay? But in this case, in the divine feminine, females, women, there were a lot of men abusing women, and so somehow brought this artificial energy in our lives, and we became the dark witch in a sense, where we created the love spells and all that, put spells on people, which don't work every time, for sure. There are many factors involved over there. They have to be at the same vibrational match. And usually with the narcissist, I don't know yet what to say over there. They are the artificial energy themselves in body, probably. But I don't know exactly. So I'm not going to enter in that topic. Okay, final card. And key to life, number 20. Egyptian. And key to life, number 20. Beautiful. So what is the message here? There is a very rigid structure there is a very rigid structure in us, okay? In us, coming from Egyptian timeline, probably. But I'm also getting Mu, Lemuria also. 20 timelines. 20 timelines, okay? And the waters, the ocean, is Mu with the ocean, the waters?
Mu has a lot to do with the elemental. They say it's I always look at it as like Lemuria is built on Mu. And yes, it was also submerged along with Lemuria with the waters like Atlantis.
Yeah, I'm getting like a lot of water, right? Which is the emotional body is going to wash through these timelines, and is going to okay, you know how the water can erode, that's the word, the mountains. It should take like a long time, but right now it feels like there is a collaboration between the water and the tectonic plaques, and those plaques are moving somehow, creating space from the water to circulate between those structures to initiate a new cycle in our healing, in our feminine, okay? It is the first step in creating a new structure in our feminine. And here comes your structures, Michelle. Your Kamaran, that's how you say it?
Kamaran, yeah.
That's what's coming through here right when I finished. So I'm going to end with this. It's 2:30, so you start with yours.
I love it because I'm doing crystals. I was led to do the crystals. So yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
Are we ready to transition then?
Yeah, go ahead.
The whole time you were talking, I wrote down a note about that 33, about the alchemy, which is definitely for sure coming in. In fact, I love when Spirit talks to me. I was shown to use my crystals, my crystal cards. Those we're going to use today. We're going to do 3 shuffles, three 3 shuffles and 3 cards. Now it's so interesting, but Spirit is telling me so much just in that. Okay. We are talking about the sacral chakra. We're talking about balance. We're going to look at like the past, the present, and the future, because there's a lot happening. There's this alchemy shift, and I love it. And I love what you were saying. Wanted to bring attention back to that 33 and how this resonates within us. What does this mean, this alchemy? Well, if you think about the alchemist is the one who can change lead into gold, right?
Gold. Yeah.
Yes, lead into gold. And as we're speaking about this, how it relates within the chakra system, how it communicates to me is with our sacral chakra and our higher heart. Okay. And I love this because there's this synergy in this alchemy, a coming together of the ingredients. This is why we're getting the witch. This is why we're getting Isadora, who the mother, she meddles with I forget the witch's name in Bewitched. She's so funny. I love that show. And of course, and I'm getting Darren too, like how he was just open to her magic. And here, speaking of magic, my daughter comes in. Say hi.
Hello.
I'm just finishing up Oracle. Okay. Love you. Mama. Yeah. It's Halloween, so she's going to be very curious about. No, honey, it's just me and we're talking, me and Nicoleta.
Wait, are you on right now?
Yes, we're live.
Oh.
I love you. I can give me like Nicola's got to go to work too. So here, 233. How can we collaborate with the 33? That's the time.
I understand.
Yes. So but what we're talking about here is really that collaboration between those chakras, our sacral, our divine feminine, and unconditional love. And I love that when you were talking about the initiation of the 33 and those relationships that are narcissist, it makes so much sense to me because we fall into those emotions. The water is the initiation of the emotions, the emotional body. As you were talking, I was getting in my mind's eye Morgana and Merlin, which is taking me into that inner heart. Okay, really leading us a little bit more about what are these emotions all about. Okay, so we start with the special sauce, we start with the turquoise, we start with the healing at hand, and that gathering of the ingredients as we talk about the witch energy is really just a gathering, like a recipe. Okay, so this is how we're creating this alchemy. We're all out there grabbing these different components for each of us. Okay. For me, it's all about the structure that we're building. You mentioned the Cambaran. This is, it's an energetic structure, you guys, that I've been called in. It's so hard to even package it. We're not going to unpack that whole thing, but it's these coming togethers of attunements and plants to help with the energy that comes into our system, most likely from the past and from the future. We're multidimensional. You talked about those 20 timelines. We always have these choices in front of us. And when we have the heart of alchemy, when we have, I'm going to say the eyes of alchemy, when we see those golden flakes, right? When we capture them and we create this alchemy, it really allows us to be in this balance that's like supersized. And this really allows us to really to create that magic here on the earth plane as it was meant to be. Okay. So we're going to start, I cut to the Nautilus, and I love this. This is totally going with you. Oh my gosh, this is building on what you said. It's like this emotional submarine. We all live in a yellow submarine. That's what I always kind of get with this card, the Nautilus. The Nautilus is literally the name of a submarine by Jacques Cousteau to do what? To excavate and to investigate and to look into the water, into the deep caverns of the water. Okay, which is just so beautiful. We're definitely in the right zone. Ooh, goosebumps. Now, Nautilus, being reminded also, is it pairs for me in my Cambaran, or in my structures, it pairs with passion flower. We've been talking about the wound, the passion of Christ. So the Nautilus takes you step by step. As you see, oh, I just lost the card, but it takes you like through the seaweed, and it takes you further and further into this investigation. It is the only attunement combination that in my class that is placed in your hands and your feet. So because it is through the wound that these energies really kind of find that entrance, right? That entryway. Okay, where I'm getting the lion and the mouse story. Like if we really focus on the wound, we pay attention to the details, we feel like we can't do, get that movement. Okay, that's at Leo. By the way, Virgo is Venus is transiting into Virgo come November 4th. So I kind of feel that with with Saturn bouncing back, there's this perfectionism, right? There's this like, we feel like it should be this way. So I feel like that's something that might bubble up. Everybody let me know if it does. That'd be really interesting. Oh, I love you. I got goosebumps. Goosebumps as I pull Emerald. Okay, the number 30. This is, oh my gosh, this is our heart. This is the heart, but this is also referring to that Emerald City, like how we can look at there's so much coming in. There's so many stories, but Emerald pairs with Lily, and it is the center point of some shields, of some necklaces that are involved in these structures that I'm talking about, which really preserve so that we can let go of the wounds of narcissism, of anger, of being burnt at the stake, of, you know what I mean? Blocking us from gathering our ingredients, feeling like this is natural. And with that Morgana, okay, when I'm getting in that movie, I used to love that show, Merlin, and how you see both sides of Morgana, how she was just this beautiful person. And when I'm saying Morgana, I'm feeling Morganite, which pairs with Rosemary. See, this is how the attunements speak to me. That emotional body is really going through. That's what Spirit is really highlighting. This is what we're really getting. I see this eye at the center of this emerald here. Okay, this individuality, letting go of the puppet master, the smoke and mirrors, really removing that. It was so funny. Earlier, I was like, we're going from the sausage to a great steak when you were talking about like how we get dried out, right? When you get overcooked and your juices all flow out too fast. So it's really kind of removing that sausage, that casing, to really allow everything to spill out so that you can really reorganize it and reshuffle it in a way that's beautiful for you. Okay. And oh man, Spirit is just speaking here. We're gonna layer on another layer here with this rose quartz, all about dissolving the fears, really allowing ourselves to collaborate with oneness, to collaborate with these fears, to collaborate and integrate these energies, to dissolve them so that we can move past them with the wisdom that they bring. This is that pink. This is that color of pink. It's that red is actually the most, as far as frequency, red is the color that we see the most, okay? Because it has this ultraviolet denseness to it. And ironically, purple is like at the other spectrum. But this white, when I mean white, this collaboration with source, this openness to receive, allows us to step into a different vibration, allows us to soften, to feel, to not be so rigid, okay? And that's what was happening with that casing that we were talking about. That was like, we're trying to expand, and it's like we're hitting these plateaus, right? And this is what I feel has been really changed for the feminine. This has been something we've been working on together. And as we mentioned, here's Malachite. Okay, Malachite, the number 3. We were talking about the 3 energies, the masculine, the feminine, and the wound. We were talking about how the wound in itself has clouded for some of us authentic action, for some of us authentically receiving. And look at that spider energy, Nicoleta. Do you see it? I mean, it's just all around. It wants to come in, but this is what you're meant to hear. Is there's fast moving energy at the center. When you go within, you can see through this heart awakening. And I'm getting this Oz energy. I am getting like Oz, like some of you would benefit from watching and receiving beyond Wizard of Oz. There is the Oz with Franco, such a good movie. You'll see a whole different perspective of his journey, of that character. Okay, but there's this blue energy, there's this pathway, there's these different pathways we're talking about, these different timelines. And this is what I think we need to understand, is that we get to choose these timelines. Okay, we get to choose now. And maybe based on discernment, that wasn't something that we were able to.
I love that so much. I love that so much. Yeah, we get to choose based on discernment exactly how everything comes together.
Based on discernment. Now, I want to show you malachite. I'm like, because I feel like it has so much value as I'm going to connect something else. Forgive me, you guys. Oh my goodness. Malachite, because I mean, only 77. There's only 77 of these attunements, combinations. Okay, but malachite, oh, it's orchid. Okay, malachite actually is with orchid. And what does orchid represent? What I'm trying to say is this dove. It was this dove orchid, which is this peace. Okay, that's what pairs here. This is the energy that's coming in. The energy is coming in to be in collaboration, to see with the view of the all, to find the balance, to understand that you were not led astray, that everything has had purpose. Even the spider energy, even the artificial energies have had purpose. Okay. And actually, as you cleanse those artificial energies, you just really leave so much more room for your truth, for your essence to emerge, those hidden. That's the beauty of the alchemy, is it unlocks those little hidden nuggets. Okay. So let's look at the past. Number 13, petrified wood. The lightning strike, right? To the wood. The wand, the creation of magic, the using it against each other, the development of not understanding and comprehending the full expansion of the word, and how with our thoughts, those of you who have access to all the elements, especially really understanding that your words carry so much more power, and how you're creating your own destiny here. You've got to understand that those words, when you're saying things to others, especially from that volatility, from that, it really manifests. Okay, this is that fast moving energy that you're meant to understand. But at the same point in time, there's the opposite of the vibration. Petrified wood is all about, the discernment. Look at these. It's like these couplings, really finding your center. Okay, really finding your center, really finding your star power, really creating, seeing that irritant, seeing that spider, seeing that irritant, those artificial energies, but renewing and refocusing and revitalizing and creating that pearl. Okay. And I talk about this pearl all the time, because the pearl is the queen's jewelry. That is what she needs to step into her queendom. That is part of her hidden treasure. And what's interesting enough is once you earn the pearl, the string of pearls, it allows you to take others on journey as well. So it's a deep initiation that you can pay forward. Okay, and that's really what this magic is really meant to be all about. Okay, but in the past, magic was seen as dark. Look at this card. It's very dark. It's very brown. It's very earthy. It was only seen of the earth. It was only seen, and when I say that, we think of the richness of the dirt, right? We think of the soil. And I'm going to come back and talk about that fern in just a moment, because I do feel that Spirit is going to help lead me to do a meditation of the fern and the blue apatite. I feel that's coming up. I feel the timing is perfect. So I feel like that might be the new one that I do. We were talking about the 23, how the 23 for the feminine, how this is a closing of the cycle, how Archangel Michael is here to let you know it's time to close the cycle. And being reminded of the Oracle of Space Jam, where I talk about Michael Jordan. He came up earlier, how Michael Jordan was number 23, the best basketball player that ever lived. And so he left the game and he went to go play baseball. And but he came back into the game and he got a new number. You know what that number was? Number 45. Yeah. Which talks about the collaboration and as I mentioned, Claire, the dress in this movie, that yellow dress, really kind of highlighting the seat of our power, our masculinity. Studio 54, look at that. 40, 54, 45. It's all about this healing at hand, and it's between the heart and the solar plexus. And it's about rising through that heart, and letting it rise into the pink. Oh, this is so beautiful how this is coming together. Into that pink of unconditional love, relieving ourselves from the hive, from the if you will, that sausage casing of the chase of what we think abundance is. Money is just one facet. It is the smallest facet of what true abundance is. Okay, so Hollandite talks about this pairs with tarragon. You can actually, speaking at the beginning, you can take this, you can go to the store, you can get tarragon, fresh tarragon, 3 sprigs. I've shared this on my channel. You can get 3 sprigs, one for the past, one for the present, one for the future. You put them in a bowl of water, let them sit in the sun, the solar energy of the earth, and you let that sit for 5 hours is what I got when I did it, for 5 hours to allow the shift. And then you put that in a water bottle and you can spray this anywhere you want renewal. I like to use it as a facial spritz. I freshen up my dog's bed. Okay, so this renewal, this is the pathway to that bridge to crossing over. It's that renewal, that peace. Okay, so this is what's in the present. How can we renew? How can we allow the healing? Because look at, in a lot of ways, doesn't this look a little blurred? Like it's kind of like got this really soft energy here compared to this one. And in fact, look at the middle. It's like, in a way, there's like this haze. This is what I was referring to. Divine Feminines, you're in this in-between, okay? You're in this in-between stage where you're really kind of unfolding from the inside out, okay? And I mean, I just can't undo this. I love this. I'm going to try and show this, the center. I want you to pay attention to the center of what you see. It's not about me. It's about what you see. See that one? And then this was the past. Okay, it seemed very defined. It's something that we could look at. I'm actually getting South Node. It's like we're so comfort. We could see this, right? We could just see it with so much clarity. And then here, this is a little bit more of our north. Okay, it's not so clearly defined. It's a little hazy. Look at the center though. Look at what surrounds us. Okay. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? So gorgeous. So what does this mean for us as we move forward? Okay, because I know we're getting close on time. I got goosebumps because I heard it just means another alignment. It just means another alignment as we balance our imagination, as we come into this petalite, as we unfold into this beauty of who we truly are. Oh my gosh, this is so big. This is so big for so many of you. This is life-changing, miraculous energies we're talking about here. I say bring them. Let's go. Let's go. It brings you this alignment to what's more. And what this feels like to me with this petalite, I want to grab this. I'm not so familiar with this crystal, but I feel it's like It's this energy. Okay, look at this. You see how it's kind of hazy and we're in the in-between? But we see these lighter energies on the outside. This is what's happening in the present, okay? This is what we're happening in the present. But it's like that future as we co-create with our higher self, as we align to that pearl, to the queen within. We balance our imagination and we really sink into that. We really let go of that heaviness of the earth. This is what I feel like this is more like an etheric, I'm feeling like the realms of the ethers, okay, is what I'm feeling here. And we really see that petalite we're putting out. Remember the flower, the crystals talk about the energy coming in. The flowers talk about the energy we put out. So as we unfold and step into this balance and this imagination and knowing that we're alchemy, that we can create alchemy. Remember we talked about the mind as this prison, but this is what we're learning. The mind now knows, oh my God, I can change lead into gold. I'm an alchemist. And so now there's this collaboration between your soul and your mind. And this is allowing this unfolding, okay? And I know you're watching the clock, girl. I'm almost done. She's got to go to work, you guys.
Actually, I was thinking of, you know, that I think it's an Indian philosopher that I keep sharing with you, but I don't think you like him. So Krishnamurti, I think it's his name.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with him.
I sent many quotes on the.
The guy, the older guy. Yes. Okay, I didn't realize that was his name. I actually really like him a lot.
He once said, like, a mind free of memory is a mind free to choose, or something.
Oh my gosh, that is so. I've got quivers in my heart with that phrase.
Yeah, a mind free of memory, but what memory? All kinds of memory, not memory of love,
So
not
many.
Of pain, no memory. Fresh beginning every single day that you can choose.
And I love that, aligning to, and I love that, aligning to something new, letting go of all the books that, and this is what comes through a lot. It's like we talk about movies, we talk about Oracle, and that's their Oracle, that's their truth, their insight. And what it does is it allows us to receive insights to do what? To create our own pathways, to create our own story, to create our own movies, our own oracle, our own books. Okay. And look at this. I can't make it up. Earlier, you said the masculine is working from the roots up. And this particular petalite is about the crown chakra. It's about the element of the ethers. I was feeling that so much. So let me read this. Petalite is one of the governing crystals overseeing our relationship with the crown chakra. Love it. It is through the qualities of this chakra that we can start to comprehend the majesty, oh my gosh, of our own being and touch cosmic consciousness. Petalite balances the pineal gland. We were talking about how clarity would come in. And in fact, in my notes, I wrote, as we were an oracle, this oracle came in on 10/6/23, and the numbers, you know the numbers, okay? When things come in, there's a message. There was the number 59, and I literally wrote down clarity of the heart. Clarity of the heart. I love that. So we have this clarity coming in because of our pineal gland, the left and right sides of the brain coming together, intellect and intuition. I have full goosebumps. This is so beautiful, a representation of what we're talking about. So what are we saying here? Petalite is really the symbol. It encourages us to seek union with the divine without neglecting our body, without neglecting the emotions, okay? It's all about that emotional mastery, though. We experience a balancing in the entire anatomical system by working with those crystals. The process creates a deep cleansing of the entire chakra system, a new beginning, helping us release outdated patterns, toxins, and inhibiting beliefs. A brand new beginning, a new story. The death of what was. As we talk about Michael Jordan I mean, I'm talking about this because it really is a representation of reinvention. Okay. About, finding your way through the rebirth process. And so as this energy is coming forward, it's really just aligning us with our imagination. Okay. And that imagination is what fuels. Okay. So when we say the 38, this is really taking me to very interesting places. I did a whole oracle with the eurythmics, actually. It was called Channel 11, the pituitary gland, the crystallization, the changes that are happening in the spiritualization. Remember, we talked about our blood and the spiritualization. This is a daily thing. We carry these toxins in our cells, you guys. It's just really the micro of the macro, the 14 billion cells that make up the human body. I mean, think about the power of the all when I'm speaking of that. Okay, so this is just so super deep. Do you have any final thoughts? I know you got to go to work.
Not really. Do you want to mention anything about our retreat?
Yeah, let's mention
final days of sales. When are we closing the sales? In 3-4 days, we decided, right?
2 more days. You have 2 more days to sign up for our retreat because we want to make sure that we have room for everybody. This is our first retreat. I feel the first of many to come. I'm super excited. And of course, Nicoleta, don't you agree? Like, because it's our first, it's going to be the most beneficial. What I mean is it's like we're really as we're really allowing the unfolding. We're really stepping into this evolution ourselves. We have felt it.
I feel it's going to be so powerful. I'm seeing actually the element of the fire is going to be a big deal at this retreat with us.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing how literally I'm seeing a demon leaving our fields. So we are going to exorcise ourselves in a sense over there. And we're going to come closer to home, which is heart, right? Beautiful.
I definitely feel it. Yeah. It's
Ring of fire.
It's gonna be magical. So we'll put the comments in as soon as we get off here, you guys. I know that Nicoleta is gonna head to work. I'm gonna drop the comments. Yes. We've got Halloween. Have a beautiful Halloween. Know that the energies have shifted. So if you've been going through it, because I can raise my hand. I've been going through it. How about you, Nicoleta? You've been going through it?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I can raise my both hands.
Jesus Christ, we've been going through it. We feel it, which is why we show up in service. We see, we feel your energies. We're with you, as is happening for one, is happening for all. And I love this. I love us coming together. It just feels so right. I hope we can do it again soon. Definitely looking forward to
I think on 7th.
9 more days. We're gonna be jetting together on a jet plane.
On a private jet.
Oh, would that be nice? Upgrade, please. Ooh, maybe we'll get that upgrade when we're there. So
well, let's get all the fractals in.
Let's get them all together so we can do that. Yes, because that's what it's all about. As we create all these, and it's from that splintering. It's kind of like what I'm getting before we leave. I'm just getting this vision of a mirror and how it's dropped and how it breaks into all these little pieces. And as we collect these pieces, we see just a different reflection every single time in these little pieces.
Yes, that's so right. Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. And that's why, I'm going to make a little comment here.
Yes.
Sometimes on my channel, on Shamanic Insights, one of my channels, I receive comments like, I saw darkness in you, or I saw, and guys, there are only mirrors. What you see in me, you have in you. That's it. If you see in me a huge light, that's what you have in you right now. If you see in me right now a lot of darkness, that's what you are experiencing at the moment also. But people tend to run away from their darkness instead of watching it and learning something from it, There is nothing to be afraid of when you feel this in another person. You just have to take a step back and to look within and see what's there.
Yeah.
That's it.
And sometimes, you know, if you're seeing, and I know it's hard because, you know, we're stepping forward and sometimes we get these energies that want to kind of like show us like different ways, but you know, like sometimes, like, I know for me, I'm not going to delete any of those comments. So I just want to say something for me, Nicoleta, you can choose, but for me, I choose to leave those comments to show a reflection of maybe triggering energy and how you can face that, not run, because that's the power of alchemy, divine feminines. Why would you run away when you have the ability to face it, to sink into that darkness, to fall through the trapdoor like Alice in Wonderland and discover a whole world that has been you know, that you haven't entered yet? That's really all it is. They're just not ready yet.
And what I hear, the most triggered people, the people that are getting triggered very, very easily, that means they are at the beginning of a journey in recovering a certain fractal. And at the beginning of that journey, they are still working with the artificial energy, with the spider or the snake or that huge beast, right? And until they realize they are working with that artificial energy and it's the false attachment to self, they remove that on the side a little bit and they move further. They can allow themselves to move further in the journey. All right, let's
we gotta
move
go.
further in the journey ourselves.
I just have to say one final comment. I love it. Labo B says, I am with Blue Appetite just now on my table. So that's just, I'm feeling this heat. I'm feeling this message transversing. The kids are ready to go trick-or-treating. I say happy Halloween. Nicoleta, thank you for your time. I'm super excited to hang out with you.
Thank you so much.
We got friends here. Enjoy your friends. Enjoy your holiday. If you have to go to work, you know, make the best of it. Don't when you go to work, Nicoleta, don't, you know, get all the juices out. Leave the juice in there, my friend.
I am just going to keep all of them inside.
All right, get out of here, girls. Okay, this is lovely. Thank you for everyone who joined us. We will chat with you all very soon. Have yourself a great day. All right, thank you.
Bye,
honey.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, make sure you disconnect it. We're still live, so hold on a second. Where's the YouTube? I don't know. I'm still running. More. Yep, we're still live. Bear with me. Thank you for those who came in. Now I've got to disconnect it. Okay, there it is. All right, officially. Bye, guys.